Good day everyone, Scott coming in from PSP. Today I want to talk a little bit about the common mistakes of our movement prep. So, a lot of times, A, we either skip our movement prep, which is one of the worst things that we can do, B, we rush it, or C, we're just not quite sure how to actually perform it safely, correctly, in the most effective way. So, movement prep, we're basically talking warm-up. So what I mean by that is getting the joints prepped, getting the synovial fluid into those joints, warming up the body, getting it ready for the task at hand. So whatever your workout is, it should start to mimic a little bit of what you're going to do within your workout. So if you've watched our previous videos this week, we do talk about that. The video that's been posted before this one, there's a great one on foam rolling from our colleague Kristen from here, and earlier in the week as well we've got one from Rich that talked specifically how to break down a squat warm-up. So let's look at some common mistakes that could happen outside while you do your own kind of warm-ups and things like that. Number one is we start too aggressive too soon. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, when they first start to get going, they instantly think in their warm-up that they need to start with some kind of running, jogging, high knees, something very high intensity to get the heart rate going and start to sweat and perspire to warm up the body, okay? What we actually want to do is we want to leave those to the end. Our body's not ready for that yet, but that is just our go-to mentality when we think warm-up. So let's try and get that out of our head. What we actually want to do is what they call like joint exploration. So foam rolling. Again, the video before this Kristen's posted, beautiful one as part of your warm-up. Number two, we want to just slowly move those joints through a range of motion. So when we're doing arm circles, for instance, we're not really trying to add any kind of speed or ballistics to that. We're just trying to slowly roll through the range of motion just to get the body prepped to be in those ranges of motion. Now, another one is the ballistics that I was talking about. So you'll see a lot of people that bounce when they're doing stretches. So for instance, they're really pulling, they're really stretching with their chest, they're really bouncing through it. The body's not quite ready for that yet, and not necessarily the most effective way that you can get yourself warm and prep for your movements and your workouts. So what you're gonna do, again, going through the big ranges of motion, you're gonna really kind of take those time to do an active stretch. You're gonna hold something for 2 seconds in the stretch, come back out of it, slowly go back into that range, 2 seconds, and up. As an example, that's kind of a chest warm-up. You can do it with anything else. You just don't want that hard, huge bounce. Not the greatest for that tissue. It's not warm yet to actually take on that elastic properties. So we don't want to go about that. We want to get ourselves to that point at some point, especially if you're going to start doing a power workout or anything, okay? The other one that kind of comes across is static stretching. Static stretching is huge that we see quite often when it comes to warm-up. And that's just the good old hold it for the 20 to 30 seconds, things like that. Not recommended for the reason of it can actually decrease performance by up to 10% by pre-elongating that tissue, and then it doesn't really have that same elastic quality that you need to be able to perform those reps, the workout that you're doing, especially if it comes to something like a power where you need the strong stretch shortening cycle going on right there. So those are 3 huge common mistakes. Number 1, ballistics. Number 2, starting off too drastically. Number 3, we're getting into the static stretching. All results of those is going to be a decreased performance and an increase of injury. So if you want to know more, keep in tabs with our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook. Reach out to any of your PSP staff here, myself, or anyone else. We've been more than happy to fill you in with other information. Stay tuned and stay safe.